Abbreviation in the interpretation of the Holy Quran, page 38 of the Quran. Those of you who die and give birth to husbands who lurk by themselves for 4 and 10 months, and if they reach their maturity, there is no wing on you for what they have done in themselves by virtue and God by what you are doing as an expert, 234. And there is no wing on you in what you have offered in the sermon of women or you have been in yourselves, knowing that you will remember them but do not date them secretly except to say a known saying and not resolve to not the nikah until the book reaches its end and know that God knows what is in yourselves, beware of him and know that God forgives Halim, 235. There is no wing on you if you divorce women unless you touch them or impose a duty on them and their pleasure on the enlarged his ability and on the borrower his ability to enjoy the good really on the benefactors, 236. And if you divorce them before you touch them and you have imposed they have a duty. Half of what you have imposed is to pardon or pardon the one who has the knot of the nikah in his hand, and to pardon the one who is closer to piety, and do not forget the credit among you, that God is in what you are doing with sight, 237. 234. Those who die and leave behind unpregnant wives shall wait for themselves for a period of 4 months and 10 days, during which they shall refrain from leaving the husband's house, from adornment and marriage. Two 35. There is no sin on you to insinuate the desire to betray the aggressor from a death or divorce without declaring the desire, such as saying, if your promise has expired, tell me. And there is no sin on you in what you have hidden in yourselves from the desire to marry the aggressor after the expiry of her promise. God knew that you would remember them because of the intensity of your desire for them, so he allowed you to hint without authorization, and beware that you secretly date the nikah while they are in the period of the promise, except according to the custom of the saying, which is exposure, and do not conclude the marriage contract at the time of iddah. Know that God knows what you have in yourselves that has been allowed and forbidden to you, so beware of him, and do not disobey his command, and know that God forgives those who repent of his servants, Halim who does not hasten punishment. Two 36. There is no sin on you if you divorce your wives whom you have contracted before you have gathered them and before you have imposed a specific dowry for them, for if you divorce them in this case, they must not have a dowry on you, but they must be given something to enjoy and their souls are forced to be broken, as far as possible, whether it is extended by a lot of money or a narrow one with little money. 237. If you divorce your wives whom you have contracted before their intercourse and for whom you have obligated them to have a specific dowry, you must pay half of the dowry named to them, unless they allow you to do so, if they are rational, or the husbands themselves allow the dowry to be given in full to them, and to tolerate the rights among you closer to the fear and obedience of God, and do not let you, people, prefer each other to each other, and forgive in rights, for God by what you do with foresight, strive to do good to receive God's reward for it. One of the benefits of the verses, the legality of the preparation for the person whose husband died from her to refrain from adornment and marriage for a period of 4 months and 10 days. The knowledge of the believer to inform Allah of him leads him to beware of him and stand at his limits. Urging good treatment between spouses and relatives, and that forgiveness should be the basis of their dealings with each other. 138.